Hey everyone, welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into a forensic breakdown of something I guarantee you've seen before, a super common and, let's be real, incredibly frustrating digital roadblock. We've all been there, right? You're just happily clicking around, trying to read an article or look up some research, and bam, you hit a wall. Just a totally blank page with this stark, demanding warning staring back at you. But what's actually going on behind the scenes when that happens? Like, why does the internet suddenly decide to treat you like a suspect? Well, we're going to deconstruct the exact anatomy of one of these network blocks using a real-world warning page. We'll figure out exactly how these systems flag us, identify us, and ultimately lock down our digital movements. Let's just jump right into the investigation. Our systems have detected unusual traffic from your computer network. Okay, that is the opening line, and it kind of reads like a detective opening a cold case file, doesn't it? It's immediate, it's a bit accusatory, and it instantly sets up a mystery. You see, this isn't just a random glitch or a broken link. No, this is an active, automated defense mechanism, and it's been intentionally triggered by your behavior, or at the very least, the behavior of your network. The system has literally analyzed the flow of your data and decided, hey, something here is anomalous. It's basically the digital equivalent of a security guard stepping right in front of you and putting a hand up to stop you in your tracks. But that begs the question, what exactly counts as unusual traffic? And what exactly is this system trying to protect? Okay, let's dive right into this with part one, the unusual traffic interception. So when you get hit with this warning, it means a platform's automated systems, in the specific case, Google systems, have automatically halted a user to enforce their terms of service. It's an interception completely designed to protect the integrity of the platform. Now, this metadata we're looking at, it acts exactly like a digital crime scene photograph. Check out the exact IP address they recorded, 66.102.6.41. We've even got the precise timestamp of the block, down to the literal second, August 5th, 2026 at 064518 Zulu time. But honestly, the most interesting part here is the target URL. The user in this scenario was just trying to access a Tech Reader magazine article called Hugging Face's Mission to Keep AI Open. You've got to appreciate the irony there, right? A user trying to read about OpenAI gets completely walled off by an automated gatekeeper. But really, this metadata proves that the interception is highly targeted and incredibly specific. So the million-dollar question is, what's the actual point of logging all this data and throwing up a wall? Well, based directly on the text from the ERA page itself, the system's core objective is identity verification. The page explicitly tells us it's checking to see if it is really you, a human, sending these requests and not some robot. That is the entire purpose of this sudden roadblock. It's trying to draw a hard, firm line between biological users and automated scripts, purely because whatever traffic was coming from that IP address looked like it was violating the platform's terms of service. Basically, the system assumes you're a bot until you can prove otherwise.
Which brings us to part two, identifying the automated suspects.
All right, we know the interception happened, and we know the end goal is to filter out the robots. But what actually triggers that suspicion in the first place? We really need to uncover what kind of activity flags a totally normal internet user as a potentially malicious bot. Check out this specific lineup of digital culprits they provide right on the error page. The system is literally telling us what it suspects might be going on. So the traffic might have been sent by malicious software just lurking in the background. Or, maybe it's a script specifically designed to send automated requests. But I want you to look really closely at the second item on this list, a browser plugin. Just think about that for a second. Could your own everyday browser plugins, like an ad blocker, maybe a coupon finder, or some background productivity tool, actually be behaving in a way that makes you a prime suspect? The text makes it absolutely clear. Even benign tools, if they're automating requests in the background, can trigger a terms of service violation and bring your browsing to an absolute standstill. And it gets even more interesting, because the source text reveals two really distinct behavioral triggers that can actually set off these CAPTCHA alarms. On one hand, we've got speed-based triggers. This one's pretty straightforward, right? You're just sending requests really quickly, like way faster than a human could ever physically type and click. But on the other hand, we have this fascinating content-based trigger. The text actually says you might get blocked if you're using advanced terms that robots are known to use. Think about that, what that means. The system isn't just watching your speed. It is actively analyzing the complexity and the actual nature of your search queries. So if you search too technically, or if you use highly specific syntax that automated scrapers typically use, bam, the system flags you. It's a pretty wild look at how sophisticated these filters actually are. They're judging you not just on how fast you move, but literally on the vocabulary you use to navigate the web. So how do we fix it? let's get into part 3, resolving the network block. Okay, so you've been flagged. The system thinks you might be a robot, maybe because of some rogue browser plugin, or maybe you just searched for something a little too technical. How do you actually break out of this digital holding cell? Well, the source text outlines a really specific path to redemption, breaking it down into a few core steps. Step 1, the underlying issue has to be resolved. The text specifically notes that the penalty is going to expire shortly after the offending automated requests stop, so if a script is running, it's got to be turned off. Step 2, you have to prove your humanity. In the meantime, you are required to type the characters shown on the screen and hit submit. Solving the classic CAPTCHA. Submitting this manual input is basically the key to letting you continue using the services. But then there's step 3, and it introduces a really crucial caveat. What if you're sharing your network connection? The text advises you to ask your administrator for help, and it explicitly notes that a completely different computer using the same IP address might actually be the one responsible for the block in the first place. And that brings us to a pretty hidden danger in our interconnected world, which leaves us with a final provocative thought. The error page explicitly warns that your browsing can be halted entirely because of the actions of a completely different computer on your shared network. Which really begs the question, if someone else in your office or your favorite coffee shop or even your apartment building is running automated scripts or malicious software that triggers these severe network blocks, how secure is your shared network really? It leaves us with a stark reminder that in the digital world, we are very often judged and restricted by the company we keep. Thanks for joining me for this explainer, and I really hope this helps you understand exactly what's going on behind the scenes the next time you are asked to prove you aren't a robot.